Okay, Isaac, this is me making a video for you while I'm doing my book binding. So, I already have a pair of scissors. No, I don't. I already have my signatures. That's what these are. These are homemade papers that I folded. I cut and folded, and I don't have scissors. So I'm using this for the. Where did that go down? For the cutting of that. So we have a signature here, and this is, I decided to use 2 pieces of paper instead of more because they're very thick. So once you have them cut to the same size and folded, you fold with your bone folder, which you can't even see. So I have a phone holder for videoing, but I can't find it, so I'm just going to improvise. So you fold your thing and crease it. Then you make a template for your holes like this, and you put that in here. I just realized it doesn't line up. That's weird. Oh, I did it upside down. Oh, I gotta pay attention to that. Okay. So you line them up and you poke holes in each of the spots, and then set it to the side and do the rest of the spots. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And just use your awl to poke. I'm using a quilting, you can see a quilting mat so that I don't put holes in my desk. You gotta keep them facing the right way, I guess, so that they all line up. Okay, so now I have my signatures, and they all have little holes in the end, and they're all lined up. You're supposed to do an even number, I think, because we're going to go in one side, come out here, go back in this place, and then come out here. And so they all should be lined up. And I'm using, you can use normal thread like I did with these that I made. This is a single signature booklet, and see how I used normal thread and just tied them together in a certain way because I got a book binding kit and it came with this thread. This is waxed, so it's pre-waxed thread, so it's supposed to make it go better. So I'm going to try that. And I cut a piece that was equal to 2 times the number of signatures. So I literally measured 1, 2 for each signature. And I am using a needle. And I'm trying to remember. I'm using a straight one because that's what the kit came with, but I also have a, you didn't see that. Okay, I also have a curved one in case I want to use that. Now I'm trying to remember if I want to do a double or if I want to just do it. I think I just want to do it single. So I'm going to thread my needle. Yep, because we have to tie at the end. And so what most book binding you see online, you take some kind of press and you put the ooh, that is very waxy. Okay. Oh, that's right. And they said to put it through the needle and then put it through again. Oh, it's got lots of wax. I used my awl. Isn't that cute? To get the extra wax out, because what I need to do now is put it back through. Not easy to do. Just to re-thread it. So much easier with little tiny threads. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do it. You don't want your thread. You know what? It's okay. Oh, maybe they split it in half. Maybe that's what they did. Nope, definitely didn't do that because that does not work. Yeah, so I'm going to just leave that and use it like this. So most of the time they take the signatures and they bind it. They press it so that you can get to just the end. But I'm not going to do that because I'm still experimenting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in. It's easier to be able to open it up. We're going to go in the first hole. You got to make sure you go all the way in through both holes, and they have to be lined up too, which is tricky if your paper's not lined up. I cut the edges before I did the holes, but I'm not sure that actually helped me, and I've not used this homemade paper yet. So, through the hole, and you want to leave a little bit out on the end so you can tie it later. And then you go out through this hole. Don't make sure you just pull it tight. Fairly tight. Guess the waxing helps that. And then go back through your other hole. Now I made my holes kind of equidistant, but you don't have to. You can actually leave these close to the edge and then make the one in the middle wider so that, I don't know, depends on how you want it to look. But then you pull it fairly tight. I'm going to hold on to this and pull it pretty tight. So you want it to be, yeah, like that. And then go out through the last hole, which is here. And it's actually a little bit better than I expected. This homemade paper is a little tricky because I'm not a professional. And it is slightly annoying that my holes are not exactly lined up the way I wanted, but that's life, I guess. And the paper tears, so I have to be careful not to do that. Okay, so now with this one done, you gotta add the next one. And laying them like this and flipping them over like that makes it easier. So then the second one is a lot like the first one. You go in this side. These holes are quite difficult to see from the outside, which is super great. Okay, so in through here. It is very sharp needles. Thank goodness for that. I actually quite like the straight needles. I thought I wouldn't. I thought I would be like, oh, I really need them. But if you have them all like this, you need the curved needle to make it easier. But I think this works really well with the straight one too. Since I don't have a press. Next time I'll do a press. Sounds like there's a baby playing in the toilet. That's great. Okay, so this should line up pretty good. And now this is the fun part, because other than just going across, what they have you do is tie it into this one. So that the two pieces are tied together. And I guess you can do like whatever kind of fancy tie you want. Most of them just do, there we go. Where are you? There you are. Come on, focus. Focus. Yeah, there we go. Just go around one and then through. But if you really want to do like twice through, you can go through twice. I think because it's small, I might just do that for fun. Okay, so now it's tied together. You can do just once if you want, or you can twice. And then in the end, you go back in here. So the frustrating thing for me was that there's no, oh no, you don't go back in there. Just kidding. You go back in here at the next hole, which just happens to be, can I not see that right here? I see it on the inside. I can't see on the outside. I don't think I pressed hard enough with my awl. I'm gonna have these all lined up. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Okay, so you go in. Oh no. It's almost easier if I open it up and line it up. Okay. There. So you want to make sure that your strings on the inside are tight too, without tearing your paper. And then you go back out through the next hole. Yeah, this would not be fun if you had like 100-page book to do, but I guess you do the other method if you have that. So similar to the first one, the second one, you'll just attach here. Although I think we can tie this one to it. I think that's supposed to be what happens. So I'm going to tie these together with just a knot so that they stay, so they're all attached all the way along. But the third signature will be just a little bit different. So we have the third one, and we will go in here. Yep, that was easy peasy. And this usually at this point that most of the videos I've seen stop and say, finish the rest, like I don't know what I'm doing. And then you go out through here. Ooh, so okay, homemade paper does not, because I had to have a bigger hole because that tore more than it should have probably. And it is important to get the rope pretty close together because the twine, whatever they're using, because you don't want the book falling apart. So in this one, the tricky part is going to be tying it. Oh no, you just go across. No, you do have to tie it to the next one. Okay. Because once we get here, we're going to add another one. So yeah, we have to tie it by going through. This one now, I wish I had it only done one thing not to. But that'll tie there. And there. Yeah, I think next time I would have only done one if I'd realized what that was going to do to my book. Ah, dang it. It's too late to go back and fix it. Maybe. Yeah, so doing just one tie through is better because then you can tie this one to the next one. Okay, so I decided to go back and fix it. So this one only has one just pass through the other one, and that's it. So now I have to pass this one through. You can see that? But I think this one I can do twice because then, right? It's stuck more as a fancy knot. Except that I'm not sure how I like that, how that looks. The whole thing is supposed to be kind of tied together. But since they never show this bit in any of the videos I watch, it's almost like I have to figure out the best way to do it on my own. So, and because I don't like that, how that looks, I'm going to try it again. So let's see. It really should only be passed through once. And this is the bottom. It's so weird because I almost want to do that one. But it really shouldn't be. It should be the bottom one, I think. It really should just be this one. Yep. It's this, just the one. Because then, when it comes back the other way, it can pass through the other one. It is hard to keep it tight without tearing the paper. So I would recommend doing this without homemade paper the first time you do it. Just because that makes it a lot easier. But I'm glad I'm not using the regular thread because that would be too thin and it would pull. So I want to keep it tight. And also, so the tricky part on this one now. So the third one's going to be different. And that it has to go through these ones in the bottom too. So you pass it through just the thread. So I guess don't make it so tight that it's impossible to thread that. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to go just through the thread without going through the paper, and it's very tricky. Okay. And then that one goes into the next one, which is right here. So then we go into the next one after making a hole in the side. Okay, pulling it right. You have to be like so firm and also gentle. Trying to decide, I feel like how that looks. It's just a loop. Okay, let's try that again. I think I'd rather go back through here. Yeah, that looks better. almost like a knot, tying it together. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so that one looks better. It's more like a knot. So coming out through here, I'm just gonna go, so when I come back on this side, go through the one like that. Oh, it looks so much better. And then back into here. And then coming from the other direction, we just tie this side. So you're going, when you're coming this way, you tie this side. When you're going that way, you tie that side. And it actually makes a really nice back and forth. Okay, so I did another one. And you can see how it has a nice little like stitch where this one goes through this side and the next one goes on that side and then this side and then that side, and then it keeps a tight weave. And then I've noticed on the ends, if I take the needle and go out towards the outside and then back through, and then this way do it towards the outside back through, it makes kind of an even little rope tying. I'm not sure how well the homemade paper is going to last because it's tearing very easily rather than staying together, but I don't know, it's working better than I expected. So I'm going to finish the rest of these and then show you how it looks when they're done. So I only had one more signature to add. So I went ahead and added that, and now the last bit, I want to make sure it's tight, is I'm just gonna attach it on the end as well by looping that here and then looping it back through. I think the last one you're supposed to just tie really, and like a knot, and so that it's permanently attached. And I had all this thread left over, so I think really rather than doing 2 times the length of each signature, just one would have been enough. So that's good to know. Tying it and the waxing, this being waxed is helpful. And that side's not as pretty as the other side, but it is being held together. The hardest part being the getting these ones tight without tearing the paper, and also not tearing the paper in the ends. So at this point you cut your thread off, and then this time part you need a seal for. You put glue on there and then seal your outside to it, which I need to make my outside first, so I'll do that. And but this video is done. That's how you do the binding on the ends to make the book. The end.